Hey, I'm Noah Hill, and I appreciate you coming to hang out for another video. If this is your first time, welcome. Glad you're here. So, journaling. You guys already know that this is a huge passion, hobby, way to organize my life, whatever you want to call it. I am super into journaling. So, to start off, I never really had a proper way to journal, and given there really is no proper way to journal, but it's just always been like, yep, I have a book to keep with me or a journal to keep with me, and I just write in it my thoughts, whatever, and I can look back and reflect on my life and see how much I've grown, see whatever it may be. So with that being said, it's nice to have something to look back on, but if you're like me and you use these journals for literally everything, creativity, productivity, getting your thoughts out, you know, what have you, can become very chaotic extremely quickly. Like, I put all my to-do lists for the day in my journal. I put calendar, important detail for my calendar on my journal. It is literally my tool to tackling everyday life. So with that being said, it's like, let's say you write something down, a couple journal entries later, a month goes by, you're like, oh yeah, I remember, let's say you wrote down a recipe, a website for a recipe, because you really wanted to give it a shot, and then a few weeks go by, many journal entries later, you're looking back and you're just like, where? I wrote it down somewhere. Is it here? No. Was it back in August? It's October now, and you can't find it, and it's gone forever. It's in the abyss of this. And so with that, it's really effective to get your thoughts out. But if you're like me and you use it for everything, creativity and productivity, then it's important to be able to go back and find those things. And so 1.5 journals in, and it took me forever to discover the bullet journal method. If you guys know me, I just started reading this book. I'll link to it up here. 2 books that changed my life. One of them I talked about was the bullet journal method by Ryder Carroll. You guys could look at that. And he has a YouTube channel too to dive in more of the whys and the how to set it up. So I will link that down below because it has just been so incredibly helpful to get my journaling, bullet journaling up and going, and it's a lot easier than I thought. It sounds complicated, it's not. So 1.5 journals later, I am still doing things the way I'm doing it. I'm just going through the pages, writing down the dates, and that's that. And it's like, if I need to remember something, then good luck. It's gone. And so then I was like, okay, maybe I'll just keep this to my thoughts and maybe a little bit of productivity, like everyday to-do lists. And then enter this guy, my tiny journal. It functions more as a creativity journal in terms of writing down editing notes, shot lists for my videos, maybe important timestamps that I need to go back to or stuff I need a link to. And so then now I'm carrying this journal and this, and if I wrote something creative down in my productivity and thought journal, then I would be here forever because nothing is keyed. Like, I have tasks that are boxes and I just check them off, but can become very chaotic and disorganized very fast. So enter the bullet journal method from Ryder Carroll. It's essentially an all-in-one where you can throw anything you want at it, anything, because it's that flexible, and it can do it. Like, for example, you have your index with your future log, which gives you a bird's eye view of the upcoming months, and then you do your monthly logs, which is like for the month of July, and then you number your pages, and the best thing is, this works for any journal. you got, any notebook, whatever it may be, it works. Given there is actual bullet journals out there made by Ryder Carroll that you can buy, but I didn't, this is what I had on me. I want to get started yesterday. You guys know me, and it's like, so you have your index, your monthly log, and then for collections, like let's say you have a lot of notes. For example, one of my collections is my podcast, specifically episode 7, which you guys need to check out because it's telling me my bizarre life story from these past couple of months. Sidetracked. So I have one for my podcast for this episode 7, and I am writing down, and I can see, according to my index, it's on page 12, so given that the pages are numbered, I don't have to worry about going through and trying to go back and find it. It's just, boom, it's right there. So I go to my podcast and I'm like, okay, so this is how I want to open it. I want to make sure I cover these points, and since I was telling a pretty elaborate story that covered a wide time period, I wanted to make sure I got my events in order. So it has just been so incredibly helpful in terms of keeping me organized while also keeping my creative flow in a very, very nice state. So, and then you do your daily logs. Or let me backtrack this. So your monthly log, you do the month, and then you write down the days and the day it's tied to. So like first is Thursday, second is Friday, so on and so forth. And then on the next page, you write down your monthly tasks. Bills, when bills are due, maybe when paydays due, important events that are coming up. You write them down in the sheet next to it, and then you just fill in the dates. It's just so incredibly helpful and productive, and I'm like totally geeking out right now if you can't tell. I just love these things, and the best part is Ryder provides a key for how to organize your bullets. So for example, let's say I need to tidy my apartment. So by doing that, I would just do a little bullet, like a little period. And then when I'm complete with that, instead of crossing out and not being able to see what I just did, I just turn it into an X. And then events are an O. And then if you need to turn them into something else, like if you need to, a note is a little dash, an event is an O, a task is a little dot, and then the X is the task complete, an arrow pointing right is task migrated, and then an arrow going to the left is task scheduled. And then when you actually cross it out, it just means it's irrelevant. And at the end of, I've been doing this every day ever since I started, and it's just been so nice to get a bird's eye view of everything I need to do and not feel like I have this never-ending sticky notes in my brain trying to be like, where is it at? You know I wrote it down somewhere. And it just allows me to get clear and concise thoughts from my head onto paper, bird's eye view, execute, clean and simple. And what's nice, as I said, is it's so flexible. Let's say you are a general manager for either a retail store or a big company, and you have a bunch of stuff you need to keep track of. Rather than having a notebook for, oh yeah, I have a notebook for the events for the company, I have notes for reminders. It's all right here, because as simple as it may be, in my opinion, this index and numbering those pages makes this journal so incredibly helpful. So if you're interested at all at trying bullet journaling or whatever, if you want to try bullet journaling, then it may seem tedious to set up, but give it an honest shot. I've only been doing this for about 5 days now, but I have already gotten so much more done because I've been able to clearly get my thoughts organized by tasks, events, notes to go with said tasks and events, whatever it may be, to just fully have a clear headspace to tackle these problems one-on-one. And going back to the bullet journal, it's being intentional with what you're writing down. The best part about writing is just, one, if you're a guy like me and you like pens, you get to use your favorite pen every single day, and it feels so nice. But there's something to be said about doing things by analog that helps you remember it, because it forces you to slow down and be intentional and truly think about what you're about to put on that piece of paper. And it's so simple, but it's so effective. Beauty and simplicity, to put it straightforward. So, highly recommend trying out bullet journaling. And I even kind of cheat a little bit because Ryder talks about just doing small bullet points, very few sentences, clear and concise, but I like doing actual journal entries, reflecting on what I'm feeling, maybe how a certain event affected me, so on and so forth. And since everything is consolidated by month in my daily log, all I have to do is go back, and since I already date things, I'll be able to find it so much easier. So if you are struggling to find a way to stay productive, be creative, your phone calendars looks a mess because you just have so many different events, or your notes page on your app or your phone app is chaos because you can't organize it. It's just a never-ending bullet list. I highly encourage you to give it a shot. I can honestly say it's changed my life. It's made me a better YouTuber, photographer, and podcaster because it's allowed me to just be so free but intentional with what I'm putting down and what I'm wanting to remember. Like, I made another collection for YouTube video ideas, and so now instead of writing them all down in the abyss, it's like in trying to remember, oh yeah, I had YouTube videos written down. Did I write it before or after April, or was it the beginning of May? You know, I just go to my index, 14 YouTube video ideas, and I've even broke them down by events. Like if I wanted to go somewhere, then that would be an event, or if I wanted to shoot me making a sandwich, that's not on here, but you get the point. So, bullet journaling, give it a shot. It's changed me as a creative, honestly. It's helping me put out better content, helping me be more intentional with my edits, be more intentional with everything. So, I'm gonna stop rambling because I'm just gonna sound like a broken record. Thank you guys so much for coming to hang out. I hope you're able to take something away from this. If you are in the bullet journal community, let me know your thoughts on what you use yours for and how it's helped you, because I love hearing those stories. And yeah, so feel free to follow me on Instagram, my personal Instagram @NomaJust, my photography Instagram @CaptainHill. Speaking of which, if you would like to book a shoot with me, a photo shoot or a video shoot, or any questions at all, DM me on my photography Instagram account or go to my website, linked below, and shoot me an email, and we can talk from there if you would like to. So I'd be more than happy to answer questions or discuss a fun project or a shoot that you may have in mind. Let's see, the podcast Instagram @GettingAlongPod. New episodes Fridays typically. I say typically because I've been consistent, but you just never know if I could slip up or not. But new episodes Fridays typically. And yeah, so if you're in the bullet journal community or you want to try bullet journaling, give it a shot. Let me know your thoughts on it. Thank you so much for coming to hang out. I'm Noah Hill, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next episode.